Hello there, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of TA with MK. My name is MK, and as we have another boring day in trading, and what I mean by boring is it is a holiday, and so the traditional stock market is still closed down. Normally it's closed down already on Saturday and Sunday here in the US, but today, on Monday the 20th, it is also closed for a holiday known as Juneteenth. Now, if you don't know what Juneteenth is, then you're just like me. You probably aren't the greatest at keeping up with all of the different holidays, especially from the political ones and stuff. And that's just lack of, I guess, interest, right? Growing up, that just wasn't something I kept track of. It doesn't mean that I don't respect these holidays or don't believe that they're worthwhile, because they are. But it's just not something where somebody just comes up to me and we're sitting down at the pub having a beer and they say, hey, did you know today's Juneteenth? And I'd go, no, I have no clue what that is. So I'm going to go ahead and read that real quick to you guys, just so in case you're similar to me, which I hope at least a few of you are, what this holiday is. So Juneteenth here on Google.com says, it is a holiday celebrated on 19th June to commemorate the emancipation of enslaved people in the U.S. The holiday was first celebrated in Texas, where on that date in 1865, in the aftermath of the Civil War, slaves were declared free under the terms of the 1862 Emancipation Proclamation. So obviously that is a very, very significant date in our country's history, so it makes me feel terrible that off the top of the head I didn't know what it was, but you know, it's always important to me to be honest on this channel about everything. I don't want to pretend or claim to know everything. It's just not who I am. In fact, I'm on the other side of that really when it comes to things like this, and I have no problem being upfront about that. However, I do think that that is obviously a super, super important holiday in our country's history, so I am glad that the stock market is closed today celebrating something like that. But from the trading aspect, I just wanted to mention that that was why I used the word boring, because as we know as traders, weekend price action, or in this case, holiday price action, so anytime that the traditional stock markets are closed, the moves are not always something that we can trust, right? We need the big whales and especially the institutions and such that don't trade on weekends to begin trading again, so that we can kind of trust what the price action's doing. So as we have one more quote-unquote boring day, today I'm just going to dive a little deeper into the Bitcoin dominance chart, which was something I covered briefly yesterday with just a few of my thoughts. Just to kind of let you know more deep today what I'm watching for as it pertains to the Bitcoin dominance chart, and why we're kind of at a spot right now within the timing of this cycle or this bear market where Bitcoin dominance could be giving us clues as to much more downside for our alts to come. And I just wanted to again today in this video explain why. Now, if you guys are liking the content, please remember to like and subscribe, and let's go. It's TA with MK. It's TA with MK. Alright, so as we navigate through this and I give some examples over Bitcoin's history as to what Bitcoin's price has done and what its Bitcoin dominance has done in relation to each other, and hopefully this will help make a lot more sense why I use the word generally so much on my channel. And if you follow my channel for even a small period of time, you've probably heard me bring up the Bitcoin dominance chart and say that if Bitcoin dominance is going up, that's generally bad for altcoins, and if it's going down, that's generally good. Well, hopefully this video will help you understand why I say that a little better, because truthfully that's not exactly accurate, and this video will help explain that better, right? Because there are going to be times when Bitcoin dominance is going up that is not as bad for altcoins. In fact, it could still be good, as long as it depends on what Bitcoin's doing, of course. And then there's times when Bitcoin dominance is going down that it's not good at all for altcoins, which is the flip side of me saying it's generally good, right? It just means it may not be as bad for them as it is for Bitcoin. Again, it depends on what Bitcoin's doing, and also what part of the cycle are we in. Are we in the bottom of the bull market? Are we the bottom of the bear market? Are we in the top of the bull market? Somewhere in between. So hopefully you just kind of giving some of these examples in today's video will make a little more sense to you. And okie freaking dokie. Okay, so this is the Bitcoin monthly chart, the Bitcoin dominance monthly chart. And the two charts we're going to hop back and forth between is the Bitcoin dominance monthly and the Bitcoin regular monthly. Now, this is the Bitstamp US Bitcoin to US dollar. This is just the Tradingview chart that I've found that has the most history, so that's why we're using it to kind of align with the Bitcoin dominance chart. And I just want to give a few examples, which I've marked by these different colors of arrows. So if we look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, right here, let's just start here with these yellow ones. This would be the monthly of December 2020 through January of 2021. You can clearly see the Bitcoin dominance had been going up for some time. Of course, it got rejected on this orange level, which we'll talk about. It was in a bit of a downtrend, right? And then it just suddenly had a big green pump, followed by a big red and bearish engulfing candle, right? And then that kind of began a long downtrend for it, right? Well, what was the Bitcoin regular price doing between December and January of 2020 and 2021? Well, I've lined that up with these yellow arrows here, and you can clearly see that we were in the middle of some giant green candles. Why would it be that Bitcoin dominance during this candle of 2020 December, why would that be a moment where Bitcoin had so much more attention than altcoins, right? Why would money have been flowing into Bitcoin at a higher rate than anything else? Well, the answer to that's pretty simple, right? You look back here to the blow off top in 2017/2018 at around 19,500 to like 700-ish range, right? Well, this candle represented the opening of a candle that was pushing above the previous bull market's top, right? So it had a lot of attention, a lot of people talking about Bitcoin. It just broke its all-time high. And so this first candle was entirely dedicated more to Bitcoin, which was evident by this giant spike in Bitcoin's dominance, where it went from 63% all the way up to like almost 72% at one point, right? Nearly a 10% pump in its dominance, right? Well, then the next candle, which was still green and still really good for Bitcoin, well, now attention was just in the crypto market in general, and so that kind of spelled the top, a little local top for Bitcoin's dominance at the time back in January, right? It just meant that even though Bitcoin still had money flowing into it, well, now altcoins started to garner a bunch of the attention, and that's when Bitcoin's dominance dropped from that 72 to nearly 73% range just in that month back down to like 63%, right? So the 10% pump it had seen the previous month was followed by basically a 10% dump. But overall, Bitcoin was still going up, and this was a good time to be in crypto. All right, now let's backtrack even further. Let's go clear back here to January and February of 2018, right? So 2018, this would have been after the market cycle blow off top, which we can see over here on the Bitcoin chart, right? This is December and January. This is the blow off top. December and January. It looks like I lined these up incorrectly. I meant to do this and this. So here we go. December and January. This is the blow off top. Well, you see this candle here had a huge decline, right? Bitcoin dominance at one point in that month, which is just December of 2017, went from 71%, which is kind of a historic level later. We would find out later that would become historic, but it wasn't at the time, really. And it went from that all the way down to 41% in a single month. It lost 30% of its dominance, Bitcoin that is, in 1 month, right? December of 2017. Well, that was when Bitcoin itself in December of 2017 was having its blow off top, right? So Bitcoin, while it was having its historic month in its entire history, right? It went from whatever it started the month at around 9K, and in one single month went all the way up to over 19,500, right? Money was flowing obviously into Bitcoin, which is just apparent by the price action going in this giant green candle to the upside. But at the same time, its dominance was going way down. Why was that? It just meant more money was flowing into altcoins. So that means a huge wave of money came into crypto over that month. But for every $2 maybe coming into, for every $1 coming into Bitcoin, maybe there was $2 going into a different altcoin, right? From the same person. So just more money was going to altcoins. So that would fit my normal statement where I say it's generally good if Bitcoin dominance is going down for altcoins. In this case, it was very good for Bitcoin, for altcoins when Bitcoin dominance was going down. But then fast forward to that next month, which was still good for Bitcoin dominance going down. But the Bitcoin itself in the month of January 2018, right? This next was a bearish engulfing candle. So for Bitcoin, this was not good. It went way down, right? Went way down. Now you look over here at Bitcoin dominance, and of course that month it also went down, which just meant kind of similar to what we're experiencing now. Money was coming out of crypto altogether, but was definitely flowing faster out of Bitcoin than it was out of the altcoins, which represents why there was still one more last big red candle to the downside. All right, now we're going to speed this up just a little bit for these last few examples, just so this video doesn't get a little too lengthy, but this will help you even understand a little more what I mean as far as because Bitcoin dominance is going down isn't always good for altcoins. It just generally can be, especially in a bull market, right? Well, this example will help that make more sense. So these two orange arrows represent a time in Bitcoin's dominance history between August and September of 2019 where it peaked basically for a short period of time, right? It had a local top, which was followed by a several-month downtrend. In fact, about a year's worth of a downtrend, right? Well, the total 3 chart will help make that more sense. The total 2 chart is actually what I'm going to use, sorry. This is the chart that just excludes Bitcoin, right? So first I'm going to come over here to the Bitcoin chart itself first to show what those months represented, right? So Bitcoin's dominance was going down, but if you look at these 2 months of August and September of 2019 on the regular Bitcoin price, you had 2 red candles as well. So Bitcoin itself was obviously going down along with its dominance. Well, go over to the total 2 chart, which I've shared on the channel in the past. This is a chart that just excludes Bitcoin, right? This is just the market cap for everything else, Ethereum and all the rest of the altcoins, right? Well, if you look here, those same 2 months clearly also had red candles. So what do we take from that? Well, very simple. It just means similar to what we're experiencing right now in the market, Bitcoin was coming down. It's just that the amount of money coming out of Bitcoin was slightly exceeding the amount of money coming out of altcoins. But it's not like you wanted to be in either, right? Either one was not good, as is evident by my cat meowing in the background. I think he agrees. And then just the last example I wanted to give in today's video would be our most recent blow off top as far as what Bitcoin was doing, what its dominance was doing, and what the rest of the market was doing as far as the altcoins. Similar to kind of these blue marks that we went over a bit ago in the video as far as the 2017 blow off top, right? And how at the beginning of 2018, there was still this one last candle following Bitcoin's top where its dominance went down, and that ended up being really good for altcoins. It ended up being the altcoins blow off top, or at least a local top. And we have these green arrows that represent on Bitcoin's dominance of October 21st of last year to November, right? So this was, you had a green arrow or a green candlestick, right? Followed by one that engulfed it, right? So this was obviously, attention was in Bitcoin for this month here, and it wasn't for the following month. We go over here to the Bitcoin chart. What was it doing? This was our blow off top. Obviously, we're October. Now there was the beginning of November did see, November did see Bitcoin's price, of course, go higher. But overall, its candle for that month was obviously a very red candle. So you had this giant green candle followed by one last push to the upside, but then a sell off to follow, right? And again, back here on dominance, that was actually a month, that following month where Bitcoin began to sell off. Its dominance actually went down. Was that good or bad for altcoins at the time? We find the answer to that on the total 2 chart, where clearly you can see that in October leading up, which was that one really big green candle for Bitcoin, its total 2 obviously went up as well. But then you look at the following month in November, Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin started to trail off, but overall, its total 2 still had a good month. Now, granted, it peaked similar to when Bitcoin peaked, but it hung up green a lot better than Bitcoin did. All that meant that as money was beginning to flow out of Bitcoin, it was the altcoins were still remaining pretty stable, or if anything, they had a little bit of a pump to the upside. And it just meant that money wasn't flowing entirely out of the market yet, other than it was flowing quite a bit out of Bitcoin. But the altcoins were holding true to kind of have their final last blow off top that was just slightly after Bitcoin's top, right? And so the key with this video, why I even went over all this, was just to kind of explain in more detail why I always use the word generally, because it really depends on what Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin dominance, why I talk about it so much, is it can just give us clues as maybe what to expect out of altcoins based on what Bitcoin does, right? Or it can help us time Bitcoin moves. But depending on what part of the market cycle we're in, we don't necessarily know if it's going to be good for altcoins just because Bitcoin dominance is going down. Because if we're in a bear market, which we are right now, all it can really mean is that the altcoins are just holding a little stabler, or they're just retracing at a slower pace than Bitcoin, right? Flip side of that, heat of the bull market, if Bitcoin's trending up slowly, so it's still going up, but its dominance is coming down, obviously that is going to be a time that is good for altcoins, because it means money's flowing into Bitcoin still, but flowing more into altcoins, right? So that really is the key, and I hope that today's video, maybe combined with my other longer Bitcoin dominance video, which the link will be in the description again, hopefully the two together gives you some more clarification on exactly how to use Bitcoin dominance to help you trade. And thank you so much for sticking around. I do appreciate you guys. I hope those of you that did actually have a 3-day weekend, I don't know, what all places besides maybe like banks or something, celebrate this holiday. Obviously, if you work for the stock market, then you had today off as well. But if you did have a 3-day weekend, I hope you enjoyed it. If you only had a 2-day weekend, like the majority of people, I hope you enjoyed that as well. If you guys are liking the content, as always, please remember to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow. It's T-A